actually going to be playing Outlaw in this game. We saw him play Assassination in the previous series when these guys last met. But now he's going to be switching it up, playing that Outlaw rogue, going to give them a lot of control. And maybe that's why they don't want to bring in Kaska, is Kaska's Angels, they know what they're going up against.
Who doesn't like a handsome pirate, as Peekaboo is going across the map, looking to plunder Dilly's health bar early on. Dilly instantly trinketing and disengaging away. WizK the primary target for now. It's Abster just caught into a freezing trap. WizK getting interrupted. Looking for a massive spell, but not really going to find anything with that. That's a lot of damage actually falling towards WizK. He gets knocked out of the earthen. He's completely exposed. Abster's just spamming out Riptides, but that's going to be a dispersion. This is the first time that we've really seen WizK put on the back foot, but now Dilly caught into a stun. Tons of damage, 6 seconds, 5 seconds away! And Milkman just throws the game away. Every cooldown was available other than Dilly's trinket to keep him going. And I was thinking, wow, this is actually good for them. They got dispersion from WizK this early on and then just suddenly ripped away.
Yeah, it was the Plunder Pirate all in. Was he caught into a silence? Is
yeah,
that
he was caught in the silence.
So that's it. Playing Relentless, you get punished.
Yeah.
Silence, Dilly doesn't have a trinket, Plunder, everything available, and this is what the move does. They're able to capitalize on these situations.
Well,
and
it looks like Kaska's Angels do not like a handsome pirate. That's what you call it. We're not letting that one go. But Zico, ultimately, we already started to touch on how they were able to do it. A very strong composition out of the move. But let's break it down just a little bit more for the folks that were watching at home, because it was very quick. And basically what we saw was Kaska's Angels, a big heartbeat, a big sign of life there, getting a lot of damage out onto WizK, and then the damage is returned and the move takes down that first game.
Yeah, and it comes down to the fact that when Dilly pushes in to get that trap, Peekaboo stuns him, and Dilly has an option here. Either I don't trap and we're not going to get any pressure whatsoever onto WizK here and not force that dispersion, or I trinket that trap and then I trinket the stun and I can land that trap and then we can force some cooldowns. The problem is when you use that trinket, you don't have the option to trinket again before your stun DR is off. So well caught right there. There's the sheep shot to while Abster is in the bash, so Dilly can get that Wyvern sting, and he has to do that to get this CC here so that he can go offensive and force this dispersion. So really nicely done there by Peekaboo, choosing his timing of when to open up there. And then immediately once this has happened and WizK has stabilized, we're going to see Peekaboo is going to start getting that big pistol stun right there. And then here, that should be the pain suppression, honestly, but Milkman can't really see that coming. And then there it is, big silence, plunder, all cooldowns from that pirate, the artifact, everything. And they're going to just win in the opener right away, and Pirates seem pretty good.
Down goes
what is that,
Dilly.
100% win rate so far for Pirates?
So far, down goes Dilly, and he does it without popping the immunity. 39 seconds, that's how long that game was. I mean, Venricky, have you ever seen a game that quick, not popping an immunity, going down 39 seconds?
that's actually, my game was way shorter, to be honest with you. I actually don't think it's possible to beat what happened.
Like 12 seconds or something like that.
It's a world record for fastest death.
Yeah, I think that game was actually 9 seconds after the gate opened. Someone can go count.
If anyone in chat actually knows how long that is, we'll be checking. But we can see your votes are in 69% for the move and 31% for Kaska's Angels. And already, Twitch chat, looks like you are being supported by the scoreboard. The move off to an early start. 39 seconds to be able to close out that game. A little bit longer than it took to take down Venruki, but still, Dilly will go down. The question is, do we like the strategy that Kaska's Angels did employ here? I mean, they come up to a very aggressive start. It looks like they get some cooldown, Super Tees.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive play from Kaska's Angels looked really good. Maybe Milkman was just playing Trinket. They could have just overwhelmed WizK because they got Earthen Shield Totem and Dispersion, which usually those are rotated during each trap individually. Getting them both on the first trap means you don't have either of them for the second trap. So, I don't know, maybe Milkman should play Trinket, and then they can just play aggressive and run WizK over. I mean, I feel like that's the only way you're going to do it. If you try to go middle ground with WizK, he's a 700k DPS Shadow Priest. He's not going to care that you're playing middle ground. You have to put him down as soon as possible. So I would like to see Milkman switch to Trinkets and play as aggressively as they did because they got so much from WizK.
Now, ultimately, Zico, do you think that's the change that you want to see as well? Do you think we do want to see Trinket be employed here?
Well, I think that if he has Trinket there and he Trinkets the silence, there's still the threat of the blind afterwards.
Yeah.
You get blind sapped, and there's still a lot of time where the move can set up a kill opportunity like that, and all they really need is to get some kind of crowd control onto Milkman, and then they can stun somebody, force out the trinket, wait for DRs, get the blind, plunder, stun, and that's the game. So I feel like the move has all the options here, and I think as long as Dilly communicates well with Milkman when his trinket is down like that, there's a couple of things they can do. He can use this aspect of the turtle in between that little gap, or Milkman can drop out that pain suppression as well. So there's definitely a couple of options while playing Relentless, but it's risky because you also have to sit full blinds then, so it doesn't seem to be a good choice.
The move was able to do it in 39 seconds last game. Will they be able to do it again? Kaska's Angels living on a prayer, looking for a miracle.
Yeah, Kaska's Angels, they're going to be looking to get aggressive once again. WizK just charging in, looking for dots onto Dilly right away. As you can see, Peekaboo's going to be opening up, getting the cheap shots onto Cyfoxy. That's actually a very nice interrupt, immediately denying that Earthen Shield totem from Absterge.
And we see a bash and a silence on WizK, but no trap to follow it up. WizK is still taking the brunt of this exchange as to finally a full freezing trap has been secured. Dilly is locked down in his stun and not really able to capitalize on any damage. And because of that perfectly timed stun from Peekaboo, WizK might be able to get away with holding on to Dispersion. They need to try and force the overlap. Will they have enough damage to do it? Peekaboo just completely peeling the team, now stunning up Cyfoxy. WizK is able to hold on to Dispersion. Dilly teeing off though. Cyfoxy getting silenced with a Hex for cross crowd control. The clean setup there from the move, forcing a pain suppression from Milkman. He didn't want to get caught there in a crowd control, unable to support his team. He has switched over to Trinket for that oh-so-deadly blind sap combo.
Yeah, Milkman using the pain suppression there. That was nicely done. Dilly now taking a little bit of damage. He actually switches over to Relentless as well, so interesting adaptation coming in from Kaska's Angels. Peekaboo and WizK both rotting down. Another nice swap going out onto Cyfoxy. Pistol stun on him. Big pressure going out. That's the full blind on Milkman. He trinkets out of that, so nice trade there. And not have to sit any of that crowd control. Can keep Cyfoxy aggressive, but now with no...
Oh, the kick!
Could be scary. Full trap on Absterge. WizK gets interrupted, but this is an Earthen Shield totem as well. Peekaboo's there. It's a solid defense also. Going to be throwing in some stuns to help WizK stay alive.
Yeah, WizK's been able to hold on to Dispersion for quite a long time. Now the momentum is swinging in favor. Dilly has to trade out aspect of the turtle. If a stun had landed even a second before that, he would easily be dead at this point. Milkman now caught into a stun. WizK trying to keep up the pressure. Cyfoxy rotting down, trading out that survival instincts to soak some damage. He saps him out of the stun. Nice play from Peekaboo. Clean setup. Dilly locked down. He's going to feign death to remove the dots, trying to thwart the pressure of WizK. Now a gouge on the Milkman into a stun. Peekaboo completely controlling Milkman, forcing the human racial on a DR stun. Cyfoxy is still dangerously low. They're trying to do whatever they can with this freezing trap. They need to get a Dispersion. They're really not finding it just yet. Dilly knocks the entire team away, spreading them far apart. Now Dilly's going to be able to recover. Cyfoxy can easily retreat back to the center of the bridge if he needs to, but they still can't get that Dispersion from WizK.
Yep, they haven't been able to find the pressure just yet, but honestly, Peekaboo and WizK have been doing such a good job with crowd control on the Milkman. Milkman caught into the pistol stun, into the silence. Dilly now having to kite away. No aspect of the turtle is going to be available. Can they take him down? Milkman lands the power shield to keep him alive. Pennant's going to connect as well, but they had so much pressure, so much momentum. Pistol stun on Dilly once again. Cyfoxy rotting down. WizK damage is insane, but he's caught into the full maim and forced into the Dispersion. So nicely done by Kaska's Angels, making sure they keep up the offense, even though it's looking so dire.
Yeah, they're at least putting up a fight, getting that Dispersion out of the way, but both targets are dipping dangerously low as WizK looks to claim a double kill. A full Psychic Scream secured onto the healer. Dilly and Cyfoxy both rotting down. Exhilaration available in 1 second. Power Shield buys time for Cyfoxy, but he's still dipping dangerously low. Milkman retreating away. Cyfoxy just jumping with his priest to try and stay alive. They've done it though. They've managed to recover, denying the double. Now a trap landed onto Absterge, and there's no Dispersion for WizK. If they can stun lock him and stun lock the trinket to prevent the void swap, they could take him down here. That's a big ferocious bite. Absterge is going to drop Spirit Link Totem instead, making his team be able to push aggressively, but Absterge just finally tapped on mana. Kaska's Angels could be pulling off a miracle.
Yeah, Wyvern Sting over on a Peekaboo. WizK trying to find that damage on the Cyfoxy and Dilly once again. Nice trap coming in from Dilly, knocking WizK off the side of the map, making him very exposed in this position. Vampiric Embrace can be cast out by WizK to keep his team topped off and aggressive. Full blind now on a Milkman. Do they have the follow-up? Dilly's going to be kiting away, trying to keep himself alive. Has the aspect of the turtle very shortly, but Cyfoxy caught in the stun. Nice survival instincts by him preemptively on that stun, but unfortunately, I guess he will be able to survive. It was nicely done. Everyone's rotting down on his team. Pistol stun on a Milkman. He has no way to get out of that. Aspect of the turtle is going to be forced out. The move has so much pressure at this point in the game.
Yeah, WizK is just free casting in the middle of the map, and at this point when they have so much momentum, what can Kaska's Angels do? They need Kaska to just float in and Spirit Link Totem really to stay alive at this point, because that's all that could really do it. Even though Absterge was finally tapped on mana, as soon as they alleviated the pressure from WizK, you can't stop this Shadow Breeze. least.
Ultimately, Kaska's Angels hold on a little bit longer the second time around, but the result is still the same. The move going to be able to find their second win here. And I just want to note, I mean, look at Kaska's Angels. They are, all these teams in the NA have the super affix in front of their name, the super title, if
Super
you will.
Saturday.
But the thing is Kaska's Angels is one of the teams that's actually a super group, if you will. I mean, they're kind of formed from kind of remnants of all of the best, some of the best jungle players in the region. They all form together on one team. I mean, we talk about SSDS being back. I mean, ultimately, Cy Foxy was that teammate with him up on that BlizzCon main stage. And Kaska's Angels formed around this composition and with the idea to win. And I think we are seeing that from them, even with them not winning this. I think we are seeing them put up a much better fight than they put up last weekend. This is obviously a very hard matchup for them against the move.
Absolutely, but I think that despite the fact that Kaska's Angels are playing it better, and they are, at least in the second game, they survived for a very long time, I still think that they are lacking that extra offensive punch that they need. Maybe Milkman needs to try to push in and get that extra bit of CC with that fear and try to secure the dispersion, because a lot of times they get that trap and then Whiskey is hovering around 20% or so when Absturge comes out of that trap, and then they don't force that cooldown. So maybe they need a little bit extra damage from Milkman or some extra crowd control, maybe a couple of extra mind controls, something like that to really push, force the issue basically. However, this series tells me one thing more than anything else, and that is the move were already dominating without playing Outlaw, and now they're playing Outlaw, so they have an extra thing now added to their roster, which was already scary.
That is definitely something to note. I mean, first of all, if you're a hunter and you're going to be going up against a Shadow Priest, you're scared. Then that Shadow Priest is WizK. He's actually the prototype of Shadow Priest. All Shadow Priests are replicas of WizK, worse replicas. WizK is an absolute beast, but taking a look right now at these plays, you can see what Kaska's Angels really do have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a nice setup. Look at that beautiful sap from Peekaboo out of that stun onto Milkman, and these are the plays that you need to make to force the whole team essentially to just drop super low. And we can take a look at what actually ends up happening here that sets this entire situation up. So we can see Absturge is obviously caught in that bash right there, and he's going to be getting trapped up. You can see Dilly here min-maxing his damage during the bash, and he's going to try to get that trap out of that bash. And then in the meantime, we can see a nice preemptive earthen totem right there around WizK. Absturge been on point with those, and you can see here Milkman has a really good positioning here. He's allowed to basically stand here, do damage. He can jump down very easily and follow up with a fear if he chooses to do so. But there is a pirate on the opposite side of the team, so we can have a look at what Peekaboo ends up doing here. You're gonna see Peekaboo realizes the situation, and then there it is, beautiful silence from WizK, and then Peekaboo's gonna run up to Milkman and get that big between the eye stun right there, and then he's gonna go ahead and do some damage to Cy Foxy. Dilly, of course, forced into that aspect of the turtle, and then Peekaboo's gonna vanish, get that beautiful sap onto Milkman right there, reopen onto Dilly here, and I mean, if they have a cap totem or anything here onto Milkman, they can probably take down Dilly here. So these setups that they're doing, they're doing them time and time again with that pistol stun into the silence, or the silence into the pistol stun into the sap. These are setups that will force the trinket from the healer, and once that has been forced, then you got that full blind win condition that we talk about. So really well executed game from the move. And I mean, even Absturge, look at him on your screen right there, casting out the lightning bolts and trying to support his team in any way he can. And I mean, the real win condition here for Kaska's Angels gotta be the mana bar, because that's the only real lead that they had in this game.
The thing to note, though, is ultimately for Kaska's Angels, they are executing very well. Even if they execute perfectly, even if they do find the win, it looks like this is one of those series where you go, how do you do it 3 times in the series? How are you going to be able to find it? And now, with the momentum that the move has, it looks like a nearly impossible task to achieve. I do like the improvement that we've seen from them, but now it's starting to look really dire, Supatis.
Yeah, I mean, this seems to be the kryptonite for Kaska's Angels. They always go down 3-0 against the move. They've peculiarly picked Tolvaron Arena, which I would have thought would be the advantage to the move of the Shadow Priest, but maybe they have a surprise composition here to lock in. I don't really expect any surprises from them. Maybe they're just going to play an overly defensive game on Tolvaron Arena. It seems like a peculiar choice from Kaska's Angels.
The thing is they could be going for a big strategy change here. I think ultimately they say, look, we're down 2-0. We can go with the strategy that we have been going with. Maybe we do pull out a win, right? Maybe it does work this time. It doesn't seem like the high percentage play, though, ultimately. So I do kind of like the idea of maybe let's try something different. If it works, then we can try to go for the reverse sweep. I think you look to win this series, not just win one game. It's not going to do you anything. It doesn't affect you as far as points are concerned. And even if Kaska's Angels does drop down, that's exactly what's happening. They're not getting eliminated from the tournament yet, Fenriky.
Yeah, I think if we go back and we look at all the stats from the move against Jungle, they've actually never lost a game against Jungle in tournament play. I think they're up like 8-0 or something at this point with the series included. Kaska's Angels, like you said, what kind of strategy are they going to implement? Are they going to have Milkman push in, get a little bit more aggressive? It can definitely be very punishing pushing into a Shadow Priest. If you get caught into the fear, then they can easily reverse it, but maybe they do need to play with a little bit more risk in their gameplay.
This is when they brought in Kaska last week. That's what happened last week, right? They changed things up. This is when they bring in Kaska. Does that happen again, Ben?
I doubt it. I feel like the Outlaw kind of has that covered. Maybe that's why the move is running Outlaw. They realize the Assassination Rogue, the Shaman maybe is actually a matchup that the Jungle with the Shaman that they ran last week is something that could actually take them down if they're running Assassination. Now with the Outlaw, they kind of have Kaska's Angels in checkmate.
Definitely, it kind of does look like it is going to be checkmate. It looks like the move's going to force them to walk the plank. Kaska's Angels, though, sticks to their guns, and they are going to be playing that composition. No bringing in Kaska here. It still is going to be Milkman. Tolvaron Arena is about as cheeky as they can get, though, with this composition. Supatis, how do you expect them second by second to actually be piloting this composition? How do you expect them to actually play?
I mean, the map tells me that they're going to be focusing on a defensive strategy. It would be a little bit weird for them to get aggressive on this map, but I don't know. They managed to run Absurge out of mana, but Peekaboo has these clutch plays, as Zico showed us, with the stuns into saps, and that's like the disadvantage of running Trinket versus Relentless. So maybe Dilly needs to teamwork better with the Priest and Flare during the stuns. That way the Rogue can't get next to him and sap him. They could break the chains that way. But if Peekaboo gets a stun sap, I mean, the game's over, because that's just as long as a blind sap almost, and it's going to ultimately result in a kill. So they need to stop the stun sap and then Trinket the blind sap. So Dilly needs to team up with his Priest and get the flares on it and stop it. And if he doesn't, then I don't know how Kaska's Angels are going to do it.
It could be really interesting, too, if Kaska's Angels do drop down after losing this game. All of a sudden, it's just nothing but jungles down there in the lower portion of the bracket. We have so many potential for jungle matchups there, but that is the question. Will the move forward in this tournament with another 3-0? They seem to be just absolutely farming 3-0s at this rate, or will Kaska's Angels make a stand on Tolvaron Arena?
Yeah, I really want to see Kaska's Angels get aggressive. I think if they play sort of a defensive strategy, that is not how you want to be playing into the Outlaw Rogue and the Shadow Priest. Both of them are kind of build-up classes where the longer you give them uptime, the scarier they become.
All right, Dilly got a flare on top of Milkman as Peekaboo is sneaking across the map and now stunning Cyfoxy as the most forward member, trying to buy time for Whiskey to breathe and get vampiric touches. He got 2 casts of that out, getting knocked out of the Earthen Shield Totem. I think if Dilly can get these knockback traps a little bit more often on the Earthen Shield Totems as well, that could be a way for them to push Whiskey over the edge. This one, not really a high capacity one, as it looks like they might even swap to Milkman. They've got the stun. Let's see if they can deny the sap. They're going to use Wyvern Sting on Peekaboo. They deny a sap, but they get a Psychic Scream instead. Wyvern Sting is shortly going to be fading. Peekaboo trying to line up for a stun. There's a ton of damage following up towards Dilly now with a silence onto Milkman. Whoa! 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 Whoa!
I think what it was, Plunder Armor came in at the last second to reduce his the Shadow or Death, and that is it.